Hello, everybody, and welcome to DraftKings. That's right, my name is Ty Atkins, and joining me today is DraftKings staff writer Jamie Hinks, the smiling man. Right, this is our new regular feature where we look back on the previous DraftKings week in the EPL. Last week was week 7, and we look at the winning team. That's right, the team that if you were, say, Nostradamus or a soothsayer or someone who could look into the future, this would have been the ideal team to pick within the budget, and you would have won a share of the big $20,000 prize. Jamie, you're going to help me with this. You're the man when it comes to these things. Now tell us, who is the team of the week?
Right, so when you looked at this last weekend, you had to go for Chelsea players, I think, just because they were playing Hull. It was only a 4-game slate, so you knew Chelsea were going to be the guys to score the points. Still, only 16% of people picked Thibaut Courtois in goal, who 17 points, very good for a goalkeeper, 3 saves. And, I mean, it just went off from there. The guy who won, Roto Reverend, he went big on Chelsea. So he went for Marcos Alonso, who I don't think many people expected to start, although he was owned by 29% of people. I think the switch to 3 at the back really helped Alonso because 5 shots, 6 crosses, and a couple of interceptions and tackles as well. I don't think you expect the tackles these shots every week. Sorry, just because he's not going to be not going to be playing against a defence this bad every week. But I think if he plays, you pick him because he's going to be attacking all game long. But at the back with him, it's another player to benefit from a manager playing 3 at the back, which was Jose Holebas of Watford. He got his first assist of the season and scored 15 points in the end, which is really good. Ownership very high, 36%. But I mean, I think that's something you expect when there's only 4 games because there's fewer players that you realistically want to pick. But he was good value, Holebas as well. Another Watford player in this team. Weren't expecting him to play at fullback, but Nordin Amrabat, who's actually listed as a midfielder/forward on DraftKings. But because Jan Matt is injured at the moment, Amrabat's playing as a fullback. 23% owned, so he was the less owned one of the 2.
Right.
But he also had an assist, so I mean, you're picking both fullbacks, and they're both getting assists, which is very good.
That's very, very good. So, I mean, that's it. I mean, I would not have had the vision to have gone for Watford players last week. I really wouldn't have done that. I know they were playing Bournemouth, I believe, but still, all the same, the Chelsea players, yes. But even Alonso, you know, he's very fresh to that team. That was an incredible return. Yeah. Incredible return. So we've gone from Holebas to Amrabat. Who next?
I like the next 2 picks quite a lot. Again, it's this guy is sticking very much to wingers with his team, which you'll see is basically the whole team apart from the goalkeeper and wide players. But yeah, James McClean, he's a bit of a fantasy gem. He's done it for Ireland and he's now doing it for West Brom as well. Only 14% owned, which was good in this contest, I think. And only 12.5 points, but 8 crosses. They were looking to get it onto Rondon's head away at Sunderland.
I am seeing a strong pattern here with the crosses. So many crosses from the players this gentleman already picked. So
and we'll continue that theme by going Matty Phillips, who's only 5% owned, but that was the lowest ownership of anyone in the whole team. But again, you see 7 crosses. He got an assist, whereas McClean didn't. So you got that from Phillips. But yeah, 5% ownership's great.
That says it all. That means, you know, if you know your stuff, you're going to be picking these players that, you know, you're in hope that no one else will find. That's what the hidden gem really is. Matt Phillips certainly
I think it was stacking West Brom, 2 West Brom wingers is quite ballsy because they don't score that many goals. And I know Sunderland are bad, but it's quite ballsy to pick 2 players from a Pulis side away.
There you go, because, you know, I'm looking at the lineup. It's the superstars aren't really there.
No.
And so, again, very clever selection. Going for underutilised players with less share. Brilliant.
Yeah, and then up front, Willian, who, I mean, you wanted a big Chelsea gun in there. I think this was the guy to take because his ownership was lower than Costa and Hazard at 23%. I think Costa and Hazard were around 30%. So
and they're far more expensive as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to come on to. They're more expensive. And Willian, 14 crosses.
Wow.
1 goal. I think he was in my lineup last week, and I thought, you know what, he's going to do it one of these weeks, and this was the week when he scored. So. And I really like him. I think he's a very likeable player.
I love him
as well. And then and then the final one is the Dimitri Payet.
The unavoidable Dimitri Payet.
He is, but that goal, he scored the goal of the weekend, didn't he?
Easily.
And his cross category performance is great. 27.25 points. I mean, I think we kind of expect 20 off of Payet these days. But yeah, he was owned by 41% of people in this contest, so almost half had him.
That's it.
That's what you're going to get. As I say again, I'd reiterate, it's a 4-game contest, and I think when it's that fewer games, you need to be expecting these players to be really highly owned because someone like Antonio is nowhere near as reliable as Payet.
No, but that's the thing. It's almost a guaranteed return when you pick a player like Payet. Mahrez has had his time in the sun, and of course, Andros Townsend, who didn't make the team this week, but wasn't playing. So that was probably a big factor. Right, can we have a look at the lineup and who was the lucky man? There he is, Roto Reverend, everybody. That's right, he's the lucky chap who won the lion's share of the big $20,000 jackpot last week for this winning lineup. So let's just look at those players again. In goal, we've got Thibaut Courtois, a man who's been heavily criticised by his own fans at Chelsea a lot this season, but it was pretty faultless last week against Hull. Then Marcos Alonso, the new guy in a very interesting free defence fielded team for Chelsea. Then we got from Watford, Holebas, a man that we're all learning an awful lot about very recently. The guy is returning some amazing points, but look at that share of the draft though. Quite a lot of us are onto him now. Now McClean, he has been consistent for the last 2 seasons, but look, 14% of you picked him, only 14%, but look, a very decent return for what is still a very affordable pick. Then Dimitri Payet, I don't need to say anything about him. 41% of you picked this one man in your 8-man team, but with good reason, because look at that, 27.25, and in the actual game itself, what's an absolute wizard. Then the forward lineup, right, I wouldn't have thought of this, but Amrabat. That's right, Amrabat, a name I'm not even that certain I'm pronouncing correctly. He got in there. 23% of you still picked him. I never even heard of him. But there we are, 15.25 return. Now, Willian, the one Chelsea forward I didn't pick in my team last week. I went for the obvious Costa and the obvious Hazard. But there we go, Willian turning on the fire, 26, huge return. And then as the utility player, Matt Phillips, 18.25. Only 5% of all of you guys out there picked him. We all know who he is now because he massively helps. This guy, Roto Reverend, win the big one last week. But you can too, okay? Roto Reverend is very happy spending his money right now. But you know what? We all play this for fun. We all play it for love. But you can win big. This is proved every week. This is the greatest fantasy sports website in the world for a reason. This is DraftKings, and welcome to the big time.